Okay, Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. So now we look at the last subtopic of chapter 2, which are subtopic 2.4. So subtopic 2.4 is about cell transport. Okay, so for this video, firstly I will explain the overview of the types of cell transport. Okay, so based on the types of the cell transport, it will be divided into two. The first one we call as the passive transport. The other one active transport. Okay, so make sure you know the definition of both passive and also active transport. Okay, so we look one by one. So what is passive transport? Okay, so it will involve the movement of substance, across biological membrane down its concentration gradient without using energy. So the keywords here is, the movement of substance across biological membrane. Biological membrane in this case is plasma membrane. Down its concentration gradient. Okay, down its concentration gradient means from higher concentration gradient to low concentration gradient. And then for passive transport, it not use energy. Okay, for passive transport, if we look at this one, we can divide it into another three types. The first one we call as simple diffusion. Okay, next facilitated diffusion. The other one osmosis. Okay, so apa beza antara simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion and also osmosis? Okay, so now we look at the simple diffusion first. Okay, so this one is just for the overview. Later I will explain detail. Okay, so for the simple diffusion, it will involve the movement of substance. Okay, so for this case, the substance here, it can be non-polar or lipid soluble substance or the small substance across plasma membrane from high concentration to low concentration gradient. Or you can mention the movement of substance across plasma membrane down its concentration gradient. So dia membawa maksud yang sama without using energy. Because of what? Simple diffusion is a type of passive transport. Okay, and then what is the difference with facilitated diffusion? Okay, facilitated diffusion, it will involve the movement of substance. Okay, substance in this case, maybe it is ions or the molecule, the large molecule, across plasma membrane down its concentration gradient, or from higher concentration to low concentration gradient with the help of transport protein without using energy. Okay, so perbezaan in between facilitated diffusion and also simple diffusion. Okay, first we look at the substance involved, and then second, if you look at the facilitated diffusion, it must need the help of transport protein. Tapi kalau untuk simple diffusion, dia tak melibatkan transport protein. Okay, and then since facilitated diffusion is also a type of passive transport, so it does not use energy. Okay, so the transport protein in this case, maybe it will act as the channel protein or the carrier protein. Okay, and then one more type of the passive transport here, osmosis. Okay, so what is osmosis? It is the movement of water molecule across selectively permeable membrane, or across the plasma membrane from higher water potential region. So you have to highlight here, from higher water potential region to lower water potential region. Okay, so the keywords here, osmosis, dia akan melibatkan pergerakan air, di mana it will across the selectively permeable membrane. Dari mana ke mana? Daripada higher water potential, to low water potential region. Okay, so later saya akan explain berkaitan dengan water potential. Okay, and then for osmosis, you have to know the solution of different concentration. Okay, so the solution may be it is hypotonic, isotonic or hypertonic. Okay, so this is for the passive transport. Okay, so now we look at the active transport. Okay, so what is the difference? Okay, so for active transport, it is the movement of substance. So substance in this case, it can be ions or molecule across plasma membrane against its concentration gradient. Okay, so the keywords here, apa yang membezakan active transport and also passive transport? Firstly, the movement of substance across plasma membrane against its concentration gradient. Against in this case is from lower concentration to higher concentration gradient. So dia membawa maksud yang sama. using specific transport protein with use of energy. So this is the second difference, okay, that we can differentiate in between active transport and also passive transport. Kalau passive transport, it does not use energy, but for active transport, it will use energy in the form of ATP. Okay, so for active transport here, it has sodium potassium pump and also bulk transport. And then for bulk transport, we can classify or we can divide it into another two types, which are endocytosis and also exocytosis. Okay, so later saya akan explain on the next video. Okay, for endocytosis, okay, there are two process involved, which are the first one we call as phagocytosis, the other one pinocytosis. Okay, so this is the overview of the cell transport. Okay.